my people is just that. What I teach them is life. And what I bring them out of into this is death. My mission is the last of the scientists or the truth that is to come to the world before the world is destroyed. You will not have no other messenger. I am the last one. Behind me come God himself. I don't say I will live so long, but after me, God will come, or if it pleases him, I may be with him. But if I am not with him, this is the last. This truth brings you into the knowledge of yourself and of God. There is nothing hidden too much in the God. In this teachings, you learn what God is and what you could learn to be God yourself. This is God, is the real God's teaching. What is God and how things was made and brought about. This is what it is, and this is the last wisdom to be given to the world. And a knowledge of how this world was made. I said that this world was brought about according to God's teaching to me by a grafting. The white race is a grafted people. They was grafted from the original people, the dark people. And in making them, we made a brown race, yellow race, and a red race. To get to the, we said the final of the journey. At the end, can't be nothing but white. So that's what the scientist was after. He was after grafting the germ into its last stage. And the last stage was white. White and blue eyes. And no other race have that. And because the white man is the end of we can't make nothing else. This is what the Holy One refers to as we have tried everything and everything obeyed Allah but man. It is often asked by people, why did God make devil? And it's not a bad question to ask, and it's not a bad answer. Many people think that the God that created the heavens and the earth is the same God that created the devil or Satan. We should say Satan, because the meanings is better understood. Because Satan and Arabic language mostly give it that is a person or persons. That is evil, and the evil is not confined to oneself. It's evil that affects others. And that is what is actually meant when we say Satan. Satan is a person that is evil or people that is evil, and that evil affects others.
Well, now, would you say that the white man is a descendant of Satan?
No, I would not say the white man is a descendant of Satan, because that would be wrong. We didn't have a Satan before white man. So the white man is Satan himself. It is not, he's not a descendant of something. He is what he is in his own sphere, a nation as you are. And that he is not a descendant. The God that created the white man, he created him for a purpose of showing forth wisdom that was yet hidden in the God, that was not made manifest. This is the main purpose. It is not a useless thing that the race was created or made, and it's not the God that created the heavens and the earth in truth. This is a rebel or rebel of that God that made this race of people. And he made them not say to attack God, as many scholars on Scripture and on the question of devil and Satan desire to answer. He was not made exactly for all of that, and the man didn't have all of that in his mind. We would say the God that created him. What he actually had in his mind, the idea was this: to make a man just opposite to what we was, or a people just opposite to us in general, a different person, absolutely, without being the nature of us, not having our ideas, but a new people altogether, and to try them at ruling. His main idea was to make a people that could rule us and not be us, and not say that he was angry with the God and wanted to attack God and didn't like God's rule. He was not that type of man. Jacob was very wise, and he was one of the righteous, as the Bible refers to him as being one of the angels. He was. And he lost his place because of what he did. And the Bible don't give to you a clear picture of it. His fall was due to him, not say attacking God in war, as the Bible teaches, but his idea was wrong, and therefore the God would not agree that he make his man in the what we call today the Holy Land. That if he wanted to make the man, they would agree that he make him. But he must make him out of the spirit of the righteous people, since that his idea was unrighteous. They exiled him for having the idea of creating unrighteousness to rule righteousness. And he was so powerful at the time that they were actually afraid to oppose his ideas because he was too wise a man. He could have caused a lot of trouble at the time. As the time goes on, as I would like to say right here in this phase of the talk, that men's wisdom lasted or is supreme until and never one that is supreme over his wisdom or have supreme wisdom over him. This is the way the gods run. We don't have just one man's wisdom extending all the time. It's another one.
A constant, ever-changing...
Yes, sir. Your wisdom of making this, we say that radio over there, may last for 5 or 6 years until another man learns to make a better one. And then when he learns to make a better one, you still get the credit for being the first one to make the radio. But they have improved on it. And you come back maybe 100 years from now, you wouldn't know your machine at all. So much improvement has been had. Like the Ford, who makes the Ford car, Ford motor, all right? If Ford would look at his car today, he would say he was dumb when he, started making the car because look at the improvement on it. You see, it's not Ford have put all of this improvement to the car, but he was the founder of the car. So it is with wise men in the spiritual work and other sciences that we worship for the God that has made and created. We have them coming at intervals when one's wisdom is exhausted. Another one picks up and he improves on what you have done. Like the God that divided our planet. He was wise enough to want to have his word bond 100% and let every man know that he was to speak the same language and do the same thing. And this was against nature. The world, the heavens and the earth was not created like that. They vary. And so, therefore, this man failed, and he got angry and said, well, since they won't be like I want them to be, I will destroy myself in them too. Well, he missed. Because that it's just, the universe is made in such way by the Creator that you can't destroy it yourself, and you can't destroy the people of the Creator.
They may change in time.
Yeah, regardless to what you plan, as you may think today, know today that Russia and America have the most deadliest and the most destructive weapons that ever has been fashioned by any scientist of war of the past. But nevertheless, if they say that they can destroy the human being on this earth 3 times or 10 times if they wanted to, they can't do it. Regardless of what weapons you may use to destroy all life on the earth, you will fail. Because there is someone all sitting back behind the curtain that you don't know, that knows what you know. And he knows an enemy that can destroy the enemy that you have fashioned. This is the way it was in the time of this man just trying to destroy our planet. Reason I take up this talk with you, because we're in a time that the same thing is in the minds of this people. They would like to destroy the whole entire human family of the earth if they are destroyed. Each one. What I mean to say, the scientists of Russia and America, these war scientists, they are ready to destroy each other and has prepared themselves to do so. But a solid scientist know what they has prepared and know they can do so if they were given the freedom. But they will not be given the freedom to destroy all human beings. You can't do it. There always is left one from that same family at the beginning who has the key. He holds the key. And you can't get the key. What I mean, the key is the key to the knowledge how to control the powers of the nature in which the universe has been created in. When you are lucky enough to land that key to control the powers we say of nature, then you can rule anyone that will rise up as your enemy, because there is no people today that can control the power or the forces of nature, but a few. They're only a few, and they secret. You don't know them. If you see them, you would not know them. And they have been here all the while. What I mean, when he died, he leaves it with his son, and his son keeps it. It goes like that. And there is no such thing as the earth or the people being able, or the scientists of this world being able to destroy the whole thing, though they are able to do it, but they can't do it. This man was able to do it. He drilled a tube into our planet at that time, which had a diameter of better than 10,000 miles. And he drilled a tube into it like you mining coal. And he went on into a couple of thousand miles into the planet. Not a couple of miles, but a couple of thousand miles. He put the tube in it. They filled the tube with high, explosives. It was dynamite, but it is not the weak kind that is used at the present day. It was that dynamite, 70% stronger or highly explosive than this that they are using today. It was most powerful. And therefore, he filled that tube up and he let go. He thought that that would be the end of the whole thing. But he missed. This part that we are on dropped 36,000 miles from its original pocket that it was rotating in from the blast of this explosion. And the explosion taking the part that we have now for moon. As all scientists or astronomers, they admit that the moon is a part of the earth. It's the essence of the earth, only don't have no water on it. And that part was blasted 12,000 miles away from the original pocket before it turned off over and lost the water.
Which is now on Earth as we...
Yeah. The Earth now has the water that was on that part. And that makes this part 3/4 covered with water because it taken that part. We didn't used to have this much water in our atmosphere. We have, at sea level here, very much water. But when the moon and the earth was together, we didn't have it. A man cannot be enslaved that have equal knowledge. It takes an inferior for a superior to enslave. And therefore, we was brought here 400 years or more ago, according to the history, and that the white man, the slave masters, deprived our fathers of the knowledge of themselves. And therefore, they have not taught them the true knowledge of themselves, nor the true history of their people, even dating back to the 11th century. They don't teach them that. When that they were, I would say, in very, very, not say like they once was before this, but in the 11th century, they had control of Africa, and they had very fine governments at that time there, and they had very smart scientists at that time, and our people don't know anything about that. That history was never given to our people. The white man don't teach you anything about yourself other than from the time he brought you here. and a little knowledge of how savage our fathers probably was in the jungles. But actually, civilization of our people is not been given to us. And this is the time that they must know themselves, because that we're at the crossroads, or we would say at the point of departure. We must depart. We must be separated now. And therefore, you cannot be separated unless you have the knowledge of yourself. You cannot go for yourself without the knowledge of yourself. And this thing is very, I would say, touchy to talk on. As I said in the beginning, truth hurts. Now, there are many of our people thinks that the white man is not so bad after all, and he's not so good after all. But we get the nature of a thing, and the nature gives us then the whole. We were brought here by the white people for slave purposes, and not for to be made citizens. We didn't acquire citizenship papers to come here. We were brought here as a piece of property. And to keep that piece of property, it is to not allow the property to know the value of the property. And what I mean by that, if you had known the history of yourself, you would not have been made a slave. And you won't be a slave now if you have a knowledge of yourself. It's hard to enslave a person that have equal knowledge with you. You just can't do it. And so this knowledge of yourself is the thing that will free you from what you have been suffering from. That is the enslavement or service given to the white race, and they caring for you, preparing for you, and you not preparing for yourself, nor that you study for yourself, nor your people, and you are not with yourself and people to do nothing for self and people because of the lack of knowledge. So this is one of the greatest, we say, wrong or evil that a man can do to another. That is to rob him of the knowledge of himself. You can't find an equal evil to that than to rob a man of the knowledge of himself. That's the worst evil that you can do to a person. So this is the trouble with our people here. They has been robbed of the knowledge of themselves, as the Bible teaches you there in Isaiah, where it teaches that this is a people that is robbed and spoiled and is in prison houses and whatnot. That is us. That is not some people in ancient time. That's us. We are the one the Bible is referring to. And the white man is the one who have robbed us of the knowledge of ourselves and has spoiled us. We are a people that has been robbed and spoiled. Now, to get your knowledge, just who you are, you have to have the knowledge of the slave master. And to go into that, you have to go far enough into the knowledge of yourself to convince the slave master that you know yourself. What I mean by that you will have not to go back to his history. You've got to go beyond his history. Because if you stop at his history, you will not yet be his equal. He still will be your superior. But if you have knowledge beyond, then you can easily see the white man and his civilization and see yourself as not making any preparations whatsoever for yourself. You're not writing any history for yourself. Not one day you are writing history for yourself. All the history that you make here goes to the credit of the white man. You're not making no history for yourself.
Sir, do you think that there are Negroes who have such a heavy identification with the Caucasian that they are afraid and ashamed to know something about themselves? And this is a reason why they do not want self-knowledge.
I don't say that. A man that don't know, he just don't know. And you cannot say that a man is he shunning oncoming car when he don't know one is coming. So I would not say that. I just say it's due to his absolutely blindness. He just don't know. If you go to Harvard or Harvard or Yale's, you returns with a degree for a certain course, right? All right. When you get back here with that course, you should be able to do as the white man who went to the same university. He comes back and he makes a way for himself and his people. You come back and you still looks to him, right? You don't make no way for yourself. You come back going to his office, asking him, showing him your degrees that he gave to you, that I can do this job. Instead of going to your people, saying to your people, look, I know this now. Come on, follow me and I will show you how to do something for yourself. This is not mine, because that we don't have the mind or knowledge of self. And therefore, we just have the knowledge that we are taught in school, education, from grade school to the universities of the white man. And yet, they don't know who we are. Nowhere in the courses of your studies teach you a thorough knowledge of yourself.
Sir, does Christianity keep us from a knowledge of ourselves?
Yes. Yes, Christianity keeps you a knowledge. Keep you from the knowledge of self.
How does it?
That's what it was made for. Christianity is one of the number one slavery teaching. That's the most worst slavery teaching you have, is in that religion, Christianity. If it was a piece of wet cloth, if you wring it out, every drop would be right slavery. There's no such thing as a light of knowledge in Christianity for you and me. It's a fine tool for the white man. I don't blame the white man for using these things if he, make them. That's his makeup. Here, you must remember, Christianity was not organized by no prophets. No prophets of God organized that religion. No. But they uses a prophet name and a good one in order that you may accept it. But it is not from Jesus at all. Jesus knew nothing about Christianity.
Who is it from?
Well, it's from the slave-making people of This from the white people. It's an organized religion. Islam is not an organized religion. Islam is the nature of God and the nature of you and I. So it is not a religion and cannot be considered a religion, because a religion is something that is organized, or something that scientists set up to use, or an object of worship, or a court of some rules that they use to rule the people with. But Islam is different. Islam is the nature of you and I. It is the nature of God. That's why it don't have any beginning, no birth record. Islam.
You see that 98% of the Negroes, so-called Negroes, have not accepted Islam as being their true religion. And that 2% are with me. But others will have to be chastised into knowing and the knowledge of Allah, God of salvation.
You take, for an instance, the meanings of Islam only means entire submission to the will of God. All right? 98% of our people, when they heard the name Islam, they think it's something strange. They never heard that before. They don't think it's the religion of God. It is because the Arab word Islam for submission. I submit to God, or I submit to the will of God. That's Islam. Not that it is something contrary. You know, when a man says he don't believe in Islam, that's a man that don't believe in God. You see, and a man say I will not be a Muslim. It's a man that is telling the world, I will not submit to the will of God. But they don't know that. They don't take time to ask you what the name means. They don't know and don't ask for the meaning. So we have here 98% of our people, they even have never heard of Islam. Our people was never taught Islam. The white people don't teach Islam. There is some white Muslims here in the country. I have several letters from white Muslims, but they don't teach you Islam. It's a religion that the white people don't teach the black man. They know it is a whole world. It's not an organization, it's a world. But they don't teach you, they commercialize on it. They take it and use it in higher masonry, they call it, and there they must commercialize on the religion. At certain degrees, like 32nd, 33rd, they say they are Muslims, Shriners. They make a mark of the religion, and they commercialize on it, they sell it to you. And to get that degree, it may cost you $500 or more than that. Everybody can't get that degree. And the so-called black, or rather Negro, the so-called Negro Americans, he's never taught degrees right. He is given 3 or 4 degrees at once, while he should not be given but 1 degree at a time. And then he would learn what he's trying to learn.
But what do you mean by being chastised into the knowledge of Allah? How do you mean chastised?
Well, you are not an enemy of God. You are God's people. You were made, you have no beginning. You are God's people. And that He wants you to take your place as a member of your own nation. And And when the father wants a child to do what he wants him to do, he whips him, he chastises him, right?
Yes.
But if you don't want to train to teach that child, you leave that child go to his parents. Tell him, says, you don't belong to me, you go on to your parents, and I got nothing to do with you. But your child, you love that child, and you want to teach the child a certain course. And if he won't learn, you will whip him and make him to learn. Well, this is what God will have to do for you. Since you want, accept it free and be taught, peacefully and brought into it, he will chastise you. Chastising comes in many various ways. It comes sometimes by loss of, relatives, good friends, and loss of property, and you maybe have other ways that you will be conscious to the fact that you've been going through with this because I did not accept Islam. That man was telling me or teaching me right, and I didn't believe it. He makes you conscious to that fact. As the Holy One said that God never chastise a person, people, until he makes them aware of what he's chastising them for. So the so-called American Negro will be chastised with what the Holy One and Bible and the revelation of the Bible refers to as grief-stricken, being stricken with grief. And this grief will be so severe that you will wish that you was dead. You will ask people to kill you to get you out of it.
Well, now, of course, grief can take many forms. Do you mean all forms, physical, mental, so forth and so on? But what do you mean?
Mental. Over rejection of the truth, and you'll be terrified in this grief by this evil that you have committed. All your evil take forms, and you see them visible in forms. This will be just to terrorize you. And, well, it's a terrible thing. It's so terrific at times that you won't be able to even blink your eye nor move your hand or feet.
And this will be the way of chastisement?
Yes, sir. That will go on for about a year or two. And if you don't change in about 3 years, then you will be burned. That will be the end of you. As this world, as you have always been taught, will be destroyed by fire. And that's right. All the scientists know that the world of the white man will be destroyed by fire.
And when you speak of the world being destroyed by fire, you speak of the white man, the devil, his world.
That's right. That's right. It will burn. This is the only place, though. Not Europe. Nowhere but right here in America. This place will be the one that the Bible refers to as a lake of fire. Not even South America. It won't be. It will be affected, but it won't be burned. But this place here will be set afire divinely by the exploding of atoms. It will cause all what we have here now as atmosphere, we call it. It all will be fire. No atmosphere, no water, nowhere. All fire. And in all, it'll be 1,000 years before ever that human life can live here where you and I are now living.
Then only those who have accepted Allah and Allah has accepted them will be saved. Now, when does this fire come?
That's like asking me, when is the day of judgment? That's the end, brother, when that takes place. That's known only to Allah. All we are told is something near to that time, but we are never told the date. No,
within a matter of
no man knows the actual date but God himself. But we, well, it is said that the year is known. And some of the scientists know the year.
Do you know the year, sir?
I didn't say I know the year. I said some of the scientists know the year. And that these things will come, and we are living right in the door of it now. This world's time was up according to the word of Allah. It was supposed to be the end of this world in 1914. They all knew that. What I mean, the scientists. And the extension of time is due to the resurrection. The resurrection have to take place before ever there can be a destruction of the present world or this way of civilization. We have had, according to the teaching of Almighty God Allah, many gods that set up worlds in the past. And they had civilization of this or that type. But when the next one comes in, this is all erased. So you won't pattern after the other man, you see. And the same goes for this world. When this world is destroyed, you won't be able to get nothing from it.
There will be nothing to influence the next.
Nothing. Like the Bible teaches you, it says it will be destroyed in all its works, meaning everything, even this. You won't have the picture of the lamp. You will have to make your own lamp. See, this was for this God in this world. Now you must build from your brains yourself another world, and everything is different. You are not allowed to pattern after the others because they destroy all the markings and signs of it. All the libraries is destroyed. As you today, and I know that according to history, Noah, his people was destroyed, and there was a few towns and cities there. And we have no knowledge of their civilization, no more than just a word or two here and there. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, but you have no knowledge of their history because there was none saved. The library was burned up. And therefore you can't get no knowledge of what they, or how they carried on, only that they was wicked. That's all we know, and that they did this kind of wickedness. But how they build, what they build from, and how they formed or made this or that. No, you don't get that.
Well, now, when the fire comes, sir, there will be a certain number of people who will be saved from this fire, and they will be in the next world.
Yeah.
Will they not be able to carry some of that information from their world to the next?
Yeah, you will have some knowledge of what you just left from for a time, but you'll be put in a place where that it won't be published. It won't be put in no books, and you won't be allowed to speak the language anymore. That also goes for the next life. You won't even speak this language.
Then you will learn again and anew.
Everything will be said to you in the other language. And you won't be allowed to say left. You're going to call this after the other language.
It will not be allowed.
Not